I'm quite sure that any of you that have worked in video editing has done some panning and zooming. And usually when you do panning and zooming, you're using some kind of motion tool or some kind of motion object to do your panning. And of course, you do your zooming with the zoom tools. But did you know that you can actually pan using your zoom tools? Well, that's what we want to discuss in this video right here. Alright, you see in here I have a police car. This is a picture I took in, I believe it was South Carolina. This project is 1920 by 1080, and I brought in an image that's 1920 by 1080. And the reason I did that is because it makes things easier to do when you bring things at the right size. Also, in this project, I'm only using numbers in the coordinates. I mean, in the properties, I'm only using numbers that are whole numbers. Like 100, 50, and 0.5, which is 1/2. In other words, easy to divide. So let me show you what I'm saying here. Let me come over here to the editor tab, and I add my video effects. Come to transform, come to zoom, whole parent duration, add new layer. Alright, so my levels are at 100%. Alright, my X levels are, let me change that right here, I don't want that right now. My X level is at 50%, and my Y levels are at 50%. I don't know why they don't have the percent there, but that's what it's supposed to be. My center X parameter is at 0.5%, which is 1/2. And my center Y parameter is at 1/2. Now let me explain to you what those are. Okay, 100%. Okay, that means that my video is actually, my image is actually 100%. But because I cut, 100% 1920 by 1080, but because I had my X levels at 50 and my Y levels at 50, it brought it down to half the size of the screen. Okay? Now, let me explain to you what this is though. X levels is across. So that means that this is across the screen. So my dot right here for my zoom is halfway across the screen. Yes, it's at the halfway point across. And the Y level, this one right here, it means it's halfway up and down. So in other words, it's right in the middle. Alright, now let me explain the 0.5 to you. Alright, 0.5, my 0.5, which that tells me is where my horizontal thing is. Let me shrink this down too, so I can show you. Now, if I take my zoom center and I move it to this border over here, right there, if you look over here at center X, it changed from 0.5 to 0. If I take my center point and I move it over to here, it changes to 1. Alright, so that means if I change my linear parameter, if I change it to a linear parameter, and I change this to 0, what that means is it'll start over here and it'll move over to there. Alright, so let's see what happens. Let me click my enter. Alright, here we go. Let's play it. Oh, look at there, it's moving from 0 to 1. Amazing, ain't it? Alright, now, say now that I want it to go up in the corner up here. If I change this one, because you remember the center Y is the up and down, change that to 0, and I change that to 1, it'll move on a, on a diagonal, which you'll see. Fantastic. Alright, so you see that the panning is very easy. Let's change that from 0 to 1, just so you can see it move straight up and down. There we go. Now it's at 0 and it's going to come down to 1. I'm going to change that to 1. 0 to 1. So it's just going to move from up here down to the bottom. Okay, so you see how to make the up and down and the diagonal movements. Now, let's change all of these back, and then we're going to show you how to incorporate zoom into this. So this needs to be 0.5 again. Enter. Make that one there 0.5 again. Okay, so it's back in the center. Now, in order to incorporate the zoom in there, we need to change our levels. Let me change this to the linear parameter. I don't have to do it like this, but I'm going to do it like that. Change it from 50 to 100. And let's change that one to 50 to 100. Just going to try to keep it simple here. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to do is I want to move this. Instead of putting it on 0, I'm going to make it -1. Alright, remember anything past the border is a minus number. So we're going to make that -1. The center X value. Put the semicolon in there. And we're going to move that across the screen to 2. So going across the screen, what's going to happen now is this going to start at this size and it's going to go over to here. And it's also going to change from 50% to 100% as it goes. So there we go. Let's see. See, it's resized, and then it's going to go a little bit off the screen and it's going to swing back and it's going to come back to full size. Ain't that beautiful? So you can pan and zoom with Vsdc. Oh yes, you can. Let's go ahead and do this one the same way too, alright? Just to see what happens. -1 and put that on 2. Just to see what happens. And we're going to bring that over here. And we're going to do that like that. And this ought to be pretty good. Look at that, it comes all the way across and it's zooming up and it swings back up and right into place. Pow! That's so beautiful. Listen, everybody, y'all have a fantastic day. I hope y'all learned something from this video. Panning and zooming, it may be even actually easier than doing it with motion and zoom. It's just a matter of, understanding how it works. Make things easy as you can. Like I said, I just use the numbers as you can see on the screen here. I just use 100, 50, 100. I use -1, 2, that kind of stuff. It makes it easy instead of using numbers like 3, 5.5, and all that kind of stuff. And then you got to try to calculate stuff. It's easy when you do it like this here. Try to make your video editing as simple as you can. Bring your images, your video, your objects in at the right size of your project. And it'll make your life a whole lot easier. Alright, thank you for coming again. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Okay, if you got any information that can help us out, by all means put it down there in the comments. If you got another video that'll give us some information, put a link down there in the comments also. You know, hey, it don't hurt us none to learn. All right, y'all take care. Have a great one, and we'll see you the next time.